And now I will turn the microphone over to Mr. Dotson so he can read his second and final 10-minute segment, excerpt from his novel, Along the Graveyard Lane, The Demonization of Ghosts, Soul Matter Series, Book 1. Steve, take it away.
Oh, thanks, Jim. This second reading is from Along the Graveyard Lane, and it takes place maybe around the middle of the novel, and explores further the idea of the communication with the dead and Exorcist Martin Salzburg. So here we go. May 21st, 1867. Ghosts at peace resided in something like a deep sleep, their tiny light difficult to pry into responsiveness. Souls unaware of their own death or troubled by the nature of their demise were more accessible. They manifested near the dream realm during sleep and could be reached with help from a chemical medium like twilight tea, or when the troubled soul possessed a child during the full moon, Toto Luna. Therefore, this was Martin's chance to speak to Helen, to find out the truth of her death and put her spirit at ease. The possessed child, Lily, her chronic violent possessions provided poignant evidence of Helen's purgatorial existence. Martin drank the bitter green herbal tea and found a comfortable position on the makeshift bed. She was easy to find in Twilight Tea Dream. Helen curled, head to knees, like Martin found her, as if the body still resided in the narrow shaft where she died. She mumbled and whimpered in the darkness, stuck in her last living memories. Helen, he said. She did not respond. Martin spoke her name twice more. Hello? She peered up the old narrow shaft where she died. Ether mist formed the narrow walls from her memory, like dust particles that appeared in a band of light. Helen, I have found you, Martin said. Everything will be fine. I'm hurt, Helen said between imaginary breath. I'm going to lift you out. Helen moaned and clutched her stomach. You'll be fine now. Martin placed a hand on her shoulder. Try to relax. I've been stabbed, Helen said between labored breaths. I can't. I'll see what I can do. Try to lie flat. My own husband, Helen said. He did this to me. Martin tried not to show alarm, but affected a consoling tone. He can't hurt you now, but you'll be well in no time. How could Johann do this to me? Helen sobbed. The ethereal projection from her memory flickered and dimmed. In Helen's own mind, she was still injured, in pain and afraid. She curled into a ball and became non-responsive, stuck in a grim memory sequence. Delusion is a reality to the bodiless. Imagined pain made real. Helen held onto her physical and emotional wounds, the type of troubled soul who unknowingly tormented children during Toto Luna. In fact, she was Lily Laurette's so-called demon. But Helen was not demonic, only a confused murder victim caught in the moment of her own demise. May 26th, 1867. Martin drank twilight tea. The exorcist found Helen sitting on a chair, doubled over. Hello, Helen. I see we've made progress. Helen lifted her head. Martin was taken aback at her beauty. He thought for a moment he dreamed of an imaginary woman, until she spoke. I still hurt, Helen said. Don't forget to straighten up so the scar tissue can break up. But it hurts. There'll be some pain, but it's healing fine. Helen straightened a half an inch and winced. Martin encouraged her. It hurts now, but it'll get better. Helen attempted to straighten again with a pained face. That's good. It's loosening the scar tissue. Feel it? Yes, Helen grimaced. Martin opened her robe. and ran a finger over one of the scars. See, it's clearing up. The scar seemed to lighten. Imaginary healing cures delusional pain. Helen exhaled, a sigh of relief. She raised her hand onto Martin's shoulder for balance and straightened. You are very warm. My God, she said. Soon after, she could stand with his support. I'm getting better, Martin. Life seemed to return to her face, her eyes wide with excitement. Her long dark hair enhanced the black of her pupils. Her lips looked like the flesh of a bulbous strawberry, sliced and spread apart like butterflied pork chops. Moist and inviting. I knew you could do it, Helen. The two locked eyes. Martin felt a rush of bliss move through his heart, as if a small hand of radiating heat had penetrated it. Helen clung to his warmth, for she had none of her own and gained more of herself in the embrace of his living aura. They kissed. Then they performed an act of passion between living soul and ghost, only to be found in folk legend and Gothic literature, but rare. If you can feel it, then it is real. End of excerpt. All right, James, take it over.
Did I just hear the meeting of not two minds, but the meeting of a live person and a ghost?
Yes, you met a one of a kind meeting, and let's just say our protagonist didn't know it is possible because he's exploring a new frontier. But love can happen in strange places.
Did that idea come to you suddenly during the writing process, or was this something that you kind of knew was going to happen? It just was a matter of when it was going to take place and what particular chapter?
No, I don't think I planned it ahead of time. I think it just it's one of those subplots that developed, and it became a part of it. So I integrated it into the greater outline. So yeah, I mean, so it was heartfelt. It wasn't like logically planned out at all. It was just the character came to light because this character that becomes his ghost girlfriend, she appears earlier in the book as an entity that's been possessing this girl, and it's pretty bad possessions because it's the child acts violent. The family refused to relocate the corpse, and of course everybody believes that it's demon possession, and they don't realize that it's a wandering ghost not far from its corpse. So if a possession is violent, then Martin will just recommend the exhumation of the corpse and move it somewhere else away from children. But they don't want him to because it's within a wall. And what happened was her husband murdered her and then pushed her down a shaft and then boarded the wall up. And then years and years passed, and so she was known as Shaft Lady. They refused to take her out of the house, but the possessions kept going on, and it was ruining the Exorcist reputation. They were using it against him. And so he grabbed a giant hammer and bashed in the wall and pulled out the corpse of the Shaft Lady and basically buried it in front of his own parsonage behind the church in the Graveyard Lane, for which the title is named. And he visits her one night, and then he visits her again, and then again, and then next thing you know, they're an item.
Huh. Very interesting. Because I've read many a book where the description of the book, contains explicit descriptions of sex. So you can, expect, lots of descriptive sentences about the acts of lovemaking. And I have to say that would be rather interesting to see how that would unfold. A live person and a ghost, how it would be written. That would be very interesting. SpoFest!